Has this ever happened to you? You're so lost in a book, your favorite fictional character is supported by a role model kind of figure, but suddenly that character turns out to be a vicious one and ends up on the other side as being one of the prime enemies of your loved character?
Fire all the drones now!
Seems like you don't get what I'm talking about. So, take this in a manner as, like, Spider-Man's your favorite character, and Norman Osborn one of his go-to characters. But then, turns out it's Green Goblin, who then tries to kill Spider-Man. Hope you got what I'm talking about. It's the vicious character Green Goblin this time in the Evo house.
Oh.
Welcome back to EvoChronicles, where we showcase the evolution of movies, video games, and characters. And in this video, we are going to see the evolution of Green Goblin. In Spider-Man 2002. If keeping aside the animated character and the old fictional evolved character which came out of the comics, we can say that the Goblin was seen in Spider-Man in 2002. But do you know how he's been created? Yeah, I use the word created because his life journey's kind of a roller coaster ride where even after his death he came back. Pretty much weird and complicated, isn't it? So, keeping it aside, we'll start with its evolution. Norman Virgil Osborn, or Green Goblin, was shown as the CEO of the science company Oscorp and the father of Harry Osborn. When Oscorp faces financial difficulties and is pressured to secure a government contract to save it from bankruptcy, he tests an unstable performance enhancement serum on himself.
Sometimes you gotta do things yourself. Get me the promochloroparazine.
Developing enhanced physical abilities and a split personality. This new persona, later dubbed the Green Goblin by the Daily Bugle, occasionally takes over Norman's body to exact revenge on their enemies, using advanced military equipment stolen from Oscorp. The Goblin has a shiny, metallic green and purple shaded suit that's pressed and manufactured where it fits the mask and glider and the person wearing it. The mask is a goblin mask with yellow eyes and an opening for his mouth. He later comes into conflict with Spider-Man after failing to recruit him to his side, and eventually discovers that the masked superhero is Peter, but accidentally kills himself while fighting him.
Oh.
In Spider-Man 2004 and 2007. Have you heard about the term hallucination? If not, this character was portrayed in such a way that hallucination becomes the main alignment that keeps the story intact. Norman's Green Goblin persona appears posthumously in the sequels Spider-Man 2 in 2004 and Spider-Man 3 in 2007 as a hallucination enticing Harry, who assumes Spider-Man killed his father to take revenge on the hero.
You know what you must do. Make him suffer. Make him wish he were dead. First, we attack his heart!
Harry is visited by a vision of his father in a mirror, pleading for Harry to avenge his death. Enraged, Harry shatters the mirror.
Avenge me! No!
Inadvertently revealing a secret room containing prototypes of his dad's Green Goblin equipment. That was the exact point when people thought Harry would end up being in his father's lane. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014. Surprise, surprise. Seems like the antagonist was so pleasing in the eyes of the viewers that the makers decided to keep the character, but all together in a different form. The Green Goblin is a Halloween-themed supervillain whose weapons resemble bats, ghosts, and jack-o'-lanterns, and most carnations uses a hoverboard or glider to fly. So eventually it ended up in the other way, where Harry Osborn appears as one of the two main antagonists of the 2014 superhero film The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Due to a recessive gene called retroviral hypodysplasia passed on from his father, Harry quickly began to succumb to a disease that began to eat him away from the inside, starting with twitching in his fingers. Harry injected a serum into his body made by Oscorp during their spider testing stages. Instead of it curing him, the serum simply quickened the process of his inherited disease and transformed his physical body as well as his mind, rendering him insane. As he struggled to move, he found a special metallic suit attached to a glider. With that, He was all set to challenge the amazing Spider-Man. There he donned the suit, grabbed some explosives, and flew the glider out of the building as the Green Goblin. Spider-Man No Way Home 2021. And here comes the dilemma part, which usually occurs when you skip any of the chronological order of these movies. This is where people start debating how the Green Goblin, or say Norman Osborn, came back as a character to fight. Well, if you're among a herd and this discussion comes up, then don't worry, I have an answer for you from the EvoChronicles channel that will portray you as superior among the rest. This is how he came back. Just another opportunity before dying. Doctor Strange tried casting a spell that would make everyone in his universe forget that his Peter Parker was Spider-Man. But his attempt failed when the latter tampered with it. Through the failed spell, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, was brought back to life and arrived in the other universe. Realizing that he can cause more chaos in the new universe than he ever could in his, the Green Goblin decided to conquer it.
Coward. We have a new world to conquer.
Not wanting to go back to a world where he's doomed to die, the Green Goblin decides to target this world's version of Spider-Man and his loved ones, becoming one of that Spider-Man's greatest enemies after Mysterio. He's cured by the Peter of this universe and sent back to his world to have a second chance. A second chance? Well, everyone deserves that, doesn't it? But this character can't reach the end of our video without you knowing his abilities and his weaknesses. Abilities. The Green Goblin pilots a high-tech jet glider armed with seeking missiles and machine guns. His suit consists of green armor that cybernetically connects him to his glider and weapons. He's seen using 3 varieties of his signature pumpkin bombs, one of which is a simple explosive, one that releases a bright radioactive flash which reduces people to skeletons, and one that splits into flying razorback blades. He also gained a superb healing factor, and though it's much slower than Wolverine's, it allows him to come back from wounds that would seemingly be fatal, even to him. His already keen mind is already upgraded to a genius level, though it comes at a cost. Weaknesses. The most crippling weakness of the Green Goblin, namely the Norman Osborn version, is the character's outlandish madness. The Goblin formula had a drastic effect on Norman's mind, which, when combined with his previous megalomania, made him a villain hell-bent on destruction and mayhem. There's also the fact that he's quite a narcissist, refusing to admit his own faults or his mistakes, let alone learn from them. The Goblin persona is also one that sometimes wrestles with Norman's other wants and obligations, making simply doing day-to-day tasks a difficult situation. So the conclusion that was drawn is that he was sent back to his universe before dying so that he could become free from the Green Goblin. Well, so that means the entire past just got changed. Well, this is something really interesting and pretty much confusing as well. What do you think about it? Don't forget to like and subscribe to EvoChronicles and hit the notification bell so that you can always be notified by our regular updates. We'll be back soon to enlighten you with another character. Till then, stay connected.
Can the Spider-Man come out to play?